right. Just covering last week, obviously consistency really was kind of the ultimate part there. I mean, had our opportunities, needed to cash in on those. Hats off to Navy. Thought they played a really nice game. Again, I think about it from our standpoint, things that we can control, things that we need to take care of. And there's opportunities in there to finish up that game. In our conference, it's going to be a lot of tight ball games. You've got to go win the close ones and find ways to win those and make the plays to make that happen. Had our opportunities in there and didn't capitalize on them. That being said, we've got a great opponent this week, obviously. Whatever ranking system you want to look at, they're in the top 2, top 3, somewhere in that nature. Got to go back up to their place again. But I know our guys are excited and looking forward to the opportunity to go and play. We've had great competitive bouts with them over the years and don't expect this to be any different. They're playing at a really, really high level right now. Offensively, they're really consistent in what they do. They run the football well. Obviously, Ritter is a factor when it comes to that, but Ford has been playing lights out as the running back. They're big up front. They're moving people. They keep you balanced in what they do from a passing game standpoint. Pierce is, a big, tall receiver out there that makes plays not just down the field, but, being a possession receiver at times when they ask him to be. They do a good job with multiple tight end sets and giving you different looks and making you align to those things. So we got to be locked in on that part of it. Got to do a good job of fitting things and coming downhill and get them in, negative down and distance type situations. You look at them defensively, I really think that's where, as potent as they are on offense, I think that may be their strength this year. You look at all the takeaways they have. Everybody in the secondary has at least one pick. Most of them have multiple picks. There's a couple of them that got 3 apiece. They've done a really good job in that area. They're tough to run the football against with some of the angles and things that they give you. They're big up front. Both of their linebackers are sitting there at 250, 255 and can both run. And so it prevents or it puts in front of you or presents a significant challenge for us. But that being said, a lot of those guys are back from last year. We got to do a good job just coming off the football, targeting things right, being physical when we have the opportunities to do that, and be balanced in what we do and try to keep them off balance. So looking forward to it and excited about the opportunity.
Just yesterday, the board voted 3.
I don't know where that came from, but with that being said, they were finished with me talking, so I am too. So y'all go ahead and ask.
Have you seen them build Cincinnati build on, are they much different from last year? And if they're any better, how do you see them as improved?
Well, I mean, defensively, it's almost like they got all their starters back. That being said, they've got a couple of new faces in there, but the guys that stepped in are guys that started games last year. I mean, Cook, he started against us in the championship game last year. And then I think he played in the bowl game versus Georgia. So from that standpoint, the experience parts of it, I think, kind of continue to lean their way a little bit from there. Schematically, they're doing a few things different defensively. But for the most part, Luke does a great job. And he's still got his hands pretty heavily on their defense. Does a good job of creating problems for you. And so basically they're kind of in that same mode that they've been in from that standpoint. When you look at them offensively, they've always had really talented running backs. Ford brings another element to it, and he's really fit in well to what they do and how they do it. But Ritter, he makes them go. I mean, he's really calm back there. He's seen a lot of different looks. He's getting everybody's best shot. You got to get pressure on him, but you got to be careful on how you do that because, he can do so many things with his feet. You think about the championship game last year, really in the second half, him with his feet, really got them out of some situations that we probably could have been off the field in.
Coach, you talked about needing more consistency. You look at the Navy game, kind of some missed opportunities, including that touchdown catch turned into an interception as one of the big ones. How frustrating is it, I guess, for you, for your players, your team, to know that you had these opportunities that you kind of gave away, that you could have come away with a win?
Well, I don't really want to say we gave them away. We had opportunities that we didn't capitalize on. You look at the difference in, if you're just looking at record things, our season last year and this year, all of those close ball games, or the majority of those, we were winning. We have those same opportunities right now. We've come on top on a few of them and haven't in a couple of those categories. So, it's just about stepping up there, being understanding that there's going to be plays that are fixing to happen. They may happen in the first quarter. They may happen in the last drive. But when those opportunities come up, we got to make the most of them and capitalize.
Philip, your teams have always, really kind of seem to thrive on an underdog type role, or that label, whatever that is. With this week, going on the road against, whatever they're going to be ranked team. Do you lean into that more than in a normal week, or you just know that your guys are going to be motivated by that?
I just know our guys are going to be motivated. Felt like really the last 2 years we've gone to their place and really played, in my opinion, played some really good football and had opportunities in both of those games. And so I think our guys look at it as, Cincinnati, they may be ranked in all of those things and understand how good of a football team they are. We're giving them respect from that standpoint, but also understand that, we feel like we have a team that can go up there and compete and present problems for them. And it's about going up and doing that for 60 minutes.
You have any thoughts on this being Tulsa's first game day game? I assume that doesn't affect your guys too much at all. But just, everybody knows ESPN Game Day. All these kids have grown up knowing what it is. And obviously Cincinnati's fan base is going to be, fired up in a really big way. Just any thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a unique experience for our guys. Again, I don't know how much that's really going to factor in for us on our side of it. I would imagine the crowd was going to be good whether they were there or not. It usually is, and especially as well as they've been playing. That stadium's usually full, so it's going to be an electric type atmosphere. For us, we're going to have our small section over there that'll have a little bit of blue in it, and then the rest of it's going to be against us. So when you go on the road, understand what that scenario is going to be, and we've got to play it that way. Game day being there, obviously there'll be talk on our game quite a bit on the airway parts of it. But that being said, for us, it's about what we do between the white lines and lining up against them.
Coach, is it a little annoying to have to go up there? It seems like you're playing there all the time. I know last year you had so many games, that should have been played at Tulsa and got canceled. And then the series seemed like, it's all but one that you played up there. Is it a little annoying to have to keep going there?
I don't know if annoying is the right word. I mean, obviously we've gone to their place a considerable amount of times. We've gone to a few other places and states a considerable amount of times. So it is what it is. It's a schedule. We really have no control over that. We've got to play it the way it is and continue to just take what it is and move forward. So for us, it's another game on the road versus a great opponent. And we got to be prepared to go play. In your estimation, would it be fair to say that a lot of your teams have tended to play up or down to the competition? That, kind of the phrase people use. I mean, is that something you've seen with any consistency, or would you push back on that? I would push back on one area of it. I do think, our teams have done a good job going into places, kind of going back to Kelly's point, us being the underdog and doing a really good job of either finding a way to go win it or it being a very competitive game and giving ourselves chances, late in the game. As far as playing down the competition, I don't know that that's accurate, but I'd probably agree with the other.
All right. The guy on their defense who's really stood out to me is Sauce Gardner. I don't know what NFL mock drafts or whatever have, but just how difficult is it to deal with when you have a guy who, it seems like can just shut down almost anybody, and then how do you, sort of adjust and prepare for that sort of challenge?
Well, I think you've got to be aggressive, and especially in the environment that we're going into. You got to trust your guys and understand they're going to step up to the challenge too. I think he has had a really good career there. He's very difficult to get loose from. He's a guy that does a good job at the line of scrimmage. He's combative, if you will, at the line of scrimmage. He's got good length to him. And as far as being able to flip his hips and go chase stuff down, he's done a good job of that. So, you got to pick and choose as you kind of work your way through it. But he's had a great career there. I think that also plays into it, with the pass rush that they get, some of the other guys in the back, that also provides some comfort level for him to be able to play that aggressively, to understand, hey, if I do get beat, I've got help. But he's a good player for sure.
You talked about going to places as an underdog and performing well. Does it help this coming weekend that you guys went to Ohio State this year and that was a winnable game for you in the fourth quarter? That was a top 10 team. You went to Oklahoma State, who's since become a top 10 team, and that was winnable in the fourth quarter. Does that help this weekend?
Well, I think it's something you can continue to point to and build upon. But that being said, every game's different, and we got to go up there and perform at a really high level in all three phases. And it'll take all three phases to make a game like this happen. So, when you see momentum, you've got to be able to hold on to it and then continue to, spark that as you kind of work your way through it. So we have played some top 10 teams already this year, and our guys have performed well. We got to continue to keep that mode and then find a way to win them in the fourth.
As a coach, how rewarding has it been to see what Zach Long has done this season, after all the work that he's put in?
Yeah, Zach, it's such a special story. A guy that, really knows nothing or knew nothing about football and was a soccer player, and then, walked on for us and then just continued to work and continue to stay driven. And, you see what he's been able to accomplish and what he's been able to do. And we have so much faith in what he can do. So, I'm really just thrilled for him and what he has done so far to help our football team. And that's what he wanted to do when he got here was, be a productive member and try to invest into our program. And he has definitely done that.